It is the meaning, well, the meaning of this song is that we are going into our second best of 3. But this second best of 3 is first up against GuMiho. And, you know, we're in the last round of Code A. Only one of these players will advance. We saw Vampire fall already to a Terran. Will the second Terran, GuMiho, be able to continue this trend?
I actually think that GuMiho is going to take this, but First is not going to make it easy. He is a strong opponent, and if GuMiho today makes a few mistakes in the game, then First is definitely one of those players who can capitalize on it and take the series. Cloud Kingdom is our first map that we are going to see in the Terran vs Protoss. Our second.
Yeah. And GuMiho, he's actually been called out. I went to talk to Choya before the matches today. He's been called by Choya the GSL hero.
You know, Roro just entered the studio and he looked completely lost, and he just strolled around for a little bit and he's like, oh, there's my booth. Okay. He walks over and starts preparing. And with that, it looked a little bit funny. He looks a little bit like Koga, you know?
Yeah,
just a tiny little bit. Yeah. I mean, his hair is not as curly, but he looks a little bit like Koga, just a tiny little bit. We're gonna see him later. Here, of course, we have a shot of our two players in the next game. First was able to win one of the Code A qualifiers, and GuMiho was in Code S last season.
Yep. And he wants to get right back in after his GSL performance. I don't think anybody is doubting him. First, on the other hand, has a lot of games to study. He has a lot of preparation going in here. And this is a time where Terrans are struggling. This is not a good map for Terran. So, First may be able to lead out the series here if he can get to the late game.
GuMiho played in the last Code S season against Jan and Yoda. He lost against both of them. And, well, Jan ended up taking a second spot in the GSL. So that was, of course, really successful season for him. But the Towel Terran was not too happy with what happened there. And he wants to get back into Code S. He wants to prove himself again. Technically, yeah, I mean, if he stays in the next Code S season, if he's able to win this. So right now we're just waiting for them to get ready. The players already signaled in the lobby that they are good to go. And as soon as the Korean cast is wrapped up, whatever they are talking about there for a couple of like ages, we can, I think, start the series. GuMiho here.
He needs to wake up, man. He's got to grab his towel and figure out what's going on.
Get his act together.
Yeah.
There's his towel, and once again, only in the shirt. It's actually getting a bit warm in Korea.
It's warm today. It's above freezing, so it's also pretty nice in the studio today. I'm not cold at all.
Yep, today it's really not that bad. Has been raining the entire day, so outside it was a bit nasty. Say though,
if you sweat as much as GuMiho, man, in a cold environment, that's got to be pretty cold. Imagine that.
I guess. Well, we're going to start the series, guys. Terran vs Protoss, First versus GuMiho, GSL, Code A, Colin Wolf.
Over the radio and back up in the raves again. We got the crowd on the wave like it's a stadium. Call me the river, it's about to be a break.
Starting now to the bottom left of the map, we have our LGIM Protoss player. It is
LGIM first.
It's not going to do too many first punts today.
I was just, he's actually just third, but anyway.
Third?
Yeah,
How
he's a third player. There were 2 players before him.
Yeah, well, that is introduced. Yeah, that's right. Top right with his opponent, the guy with the towel. It is
FXO GuMiho.
GuMiho, Towel Terran, GSTL Hero has been named by Choya. See if he can make this work in the individual league where his opponents have a lot more preparation time.
Zoom by heaven.
Yeah, that would be what it was like if Medevac just flew inside of the command center.
You know, we actually need a StarCraft theme park. Think about all those cool rides that could be there.
That would be awesome. 2 racks, by the way, a lifestyle.
Actually, thinking about it right now, you could do so much with that. Look at that winner prediction. 90% roughly for GuMiho and only about 10 for his opponent.
Yeah, that's pretty cool to note. you know, I like this winner prediction. I feel like more and more people are getting into this winner prediction and voting.
Yeah, definitely. Go to GOMTV.net and participate in the winner predictions, guys. You can look the matches up and then predict who you think is going to take it. And giving you a few information here about our two players. Well, we see at the bottom left now the second gas going down for first. In general, he has a 51% win ratio against Terran. He played roughly 50 televised games. That does also include all the matches that he has not played in the GSL. His last opponents in his matchups were Supernova. First was able to beat him in the first round of this Code A season. In the second round, by the way, he beat Hero with the 2-0. Was able to do that after Hero came back from the NASL finals. Hero, of course, the Team Liquid player there, a little bit affected by the Jack layer as well. I'm not trying to take anything away here from First. Yeah, but before that, in a few online tournaments, First was not that successful, lost against for GG, but at least took another win against Tasia. So in this matchup, the last opponents that he faced were really, really strong opponents, and he did well. On the other hand, we have GuMiho, and GuMiho just lost in the Rhythmix RSL Season 3 that is currently being played, another online tournament, against Freya, with a 3-2 against the Protoss. But of course, you've all seen his games at the GSTL, where he really dominated, where he took down Monster, where he took down Keen and Sniper. He is just a beast. And after his loss in Code S, he wants to get back into Code S, and he is faced with a Blink build by First on this map.
First is really good at his Blink Stalker builds, in fact, and the irony of this is that GuMiho has an aggressive strategy of his own, and this is designed to catch a move out of the first Zealot and Stalker, similarly to how Keen executed his build last game. And then he runs in, tries to pick off a Sentry, maybe some probes, but because First is doing a one-base build, GuMiho doesn't get that opportunity. He also sees that there's no move out of those units, so he's just kind of like, well, alright, my commander's a little bit behind, but he doesn't actually know 100% whether or not the Nexus is going to be made or not. He's seen the double gases, but he hasn't really gone back to check for the Nexus, so he doesn't know, and that's really important, actually.
Here come the additional gates, and GuMiho is still trying to find something to take down here. Those Marines are attempting to sneak into an expansion that just does not exist right now.
Yeah. And these Marines are going to get caught. The other Marines, though, might try to take advantage of this situation. That's why First has this probe going to check. He sees the Marines. This is not looking good for GuMiho at all, in fact. Losing those Marines and not being aware of what his opponent's doing. He's in a very vulnerable spot right now. And he doesn't... Okay, now he's got the first Marauder started, but feels a little bit late here, and he's going to need Marauders and maybe even a bunker in the main base to hold this type of attack.
If he can get the stim out, that's of course going to help him too. But the only bunker that he has is at the bottom, at the expansion, where you would usually build it to make sure that gateway pressure is not taking you down. But there comes the second bunker, and where's that one located? Looks like it's one in the main base. Yep, there it is. Ready. Exactly what he needs.
He's ready for this. He saw the Observer. It looks like he knows exactly what to do here. And this is actually awesome for GuMiho. Consider as well, you talked about the stim. His stim research is in a very safe place. It's all the way up at the top of this ramp, the farthest place away for First to actually attack and snipe, so he's not going to lose that. There's no chance.
As soon as First blinks up, he is going to face this bunker.
Yeah, he might want to try to blink up a little bit to the north, or try to go for an attack at the bottom of the ramp instead of trying to go into the main base. That's something few Pro players will do in this type of situation. They usually just try to stick to the plan and go into the main.
Here comes the Observer and sees what's going on. What is First going to do? He has to take it. He blinks in, tries to take down the bunker, but here comes the rest of GuMiho's army. Blink is ready again. He can retreat.
Two Stalkers for a bunker and a Marine is not a good trade.
No.
And you better get that Observer back. When your entire strategy relies on that one Observer, you better not leave it right on top of that Bio army.
And Stim is nearly completed, and GuMiho is not being fooled here. He knows that the strategy of his opponent is going to be to blink into the main base, use his momentum. Another Stalker dies, and the mobility that First has just does not help him too much here. GuMiho is playing this too positional.
It's not enough, and First is shut down hard here. The worker count is still in GuMiho's favor, despite the worker kills of First, which amounted to 7.
Yes,
30
double
to 27.
base.
Yeah. He just has a double production, and First isn't making any harvesters because he didn't plan on making the Nexus at all here.
And guess what's ready? It's Stim. The next engagement could be a very, very devastating one for First. If GuMiho catches him in cooldown with his pants down, then he's just going to Stim in. That's all that he needs to do.
Yeah, I think he's just going to be patient. Stim only a few units like we see here. Just one Marine and a Marauder. He takes out the Stalker. That's all he has to do. That's worth it for that little tiny Stim. The main base is exposed for just a moment here, but he actually needs to get out right now. He's going to lose one Stalker for sure. Nice start. He actually goes to the second one. Doesn't quite get it, but this pylon is dead.
Yeah, the pylon is going to die.
Why not work
Being
in a sentry,
destroyed
you know,
here.
and try to block those units in the main? That's one thing he could have tried to do, but it's hard to say with how few gas he has to try to make a choice like that.
Actually, all that GuMiho has to do is now get a scan off at the high ground, find this observer and take it down. That would be so useful. He knows that it's there. He knows already there is a sentry. That's the only reason why Burst is going to blink up. It's allowed to get blink into the main base in the first place, but he doesn't even need it. Here we go. Cooldown is ready. He just forces the Stalkers back.
He didn't try to blink into the main there. He just decided that was not the right choice. And
No, he couldn't. He wasn't cooldown.
oh, that's right, of course. I thought maybe he was going to try to go behind the mineral line, but he didn't do it. But I mean, even if he had, GuMiho has a few Marauders in the main. The Stalkers are starting to get really low. He still has an opportunity here because GuMiho doesn't have medevacs and he's starting to get really low on his bioforces, but his timing window is definitely closing very quickly.
Yeah, it is, and more bunkers are now being built by GuMiho. First is still attempting to do something here, blinks up into the main base now. There are already a few Marauders, and well, before he can blink down, he's gonna lose additional Stalkers. 1, 2, 3. That's just not
That's
worth
too
it
much.
for First.
He doesn't have enough. Now GuMiho has enough army on both sides where he could actually leave half in his main, half in his natural, and not worry even a little bit about blinks. He's about to double the Harvester count at first, and this is an unwinnable game for him now. He looks desperate at this point. Tries to force a stem, he's successful, but GuMiho doesn't need to actually kill these Stalkers. You can actually just wait patiently. He's starting to damage the shields. There's another blink forward, but he loses 2 Stalkers.
Loses another one.
Great
Nice
target
targeting. Exactly. GuMiho sees the damaged Stalker, picks it up.
That was actually incredibly nice by him. And GuMiho just gets further and further ahead. He's also going to have medevacs out very soon.
Yeah. First, we'll have to throw in the towel here.
Yeah, literally. The Towel Terran here is certainly not going to die to this push.
No.
He's
The
got up
bunker's
on the high
dead,
ground. He
but
can
that's
use-
too much. Even with a few units at the bottom, he's already doing so much damage as soon as the reinforcements are there.
Yep, here come the Marauders.
But
Can't
another
fight
stim,
it.
and he moves back. Nice blink action.
Now the Zealots here could cause some problems.
Not
Needs
really.
actually micro a little bit. Well, the XP is actually just buffer too much, and that's it.
Yeah. He's trying to whittle away at the hit point. That's what First is trying to do here. Always attack, force a blink, get back, and wait until the units are really, really low on HP. And in general, he really does a good job, so it's not like he's completely wasting it. It's just like that GuMiho is so far ahead in this game.
The medevacs are coming out too, and that becomes a problem with the healing power he's going to have.
Exactly.
He's going to be able to stim however, whenever he wants very soon.
Why would you build that missile turret on a low ground and not on the high ground to get rid of this observer? That's the only thing that I don't understand with what GuMiho does here.
I think he was concerned about a DT follow-up maybe.
Yeah, I guess so, but still, you can also build it in the main base to get rid of the observer. Then you don't have to fear blink into your main again.
Well,
But, yeah,
either way, it's not going to
he's
work
won
out.
either way.
Yep, he's won either way, and it's this way. That's how he won it. The Stalkers blink in to die.
Yeah, he has to try. He has to try it, and he doesn't. And he picks up a couple of units. He focuses on the low HP ones. GG. The medivacs seal the deal. Now the healing power is there. First throws in the towel, and GuMiho takes the first game, wins map 1, wins on Cloud Kingdom.
GuMiho making him look a little bit awkward.
Well, he tried, but that strategy did not work out at all. Too many Marauders, bunk on the high ground already.
Imagine if GuMiho would just snipe the Observer early on, because First had that way too far in GuMiho's base. He kills that Observer, then First is going to feel so awkward.
Yeah.
He's going to feel as awkward as when you ask a pregnant woman, or a fat woman when she's pregnant, and she's like, and you're like, that's really awkward. That's how he would have felt if he had lost that Observer.
Yeah. Yeah, I was wondering about that. Usually you would expect him, especially after the first blink in, just a scan. Scan once, take the observer down. As it is, he won anyways. He played well, he had exactly the right response here, and First didn't have an answer against the blink stalks.
You know, if you think about it, if you think about it, like when you have that much of an advantage, he might have wanted the Stalkers to come into his base so he could kill them. I mean, he was so ahead in that game. The next map is going to be Belshir Vestige. We saw a pretty cool game here already in the first best of 3. We'll see if GuMiho is going to take the quick 2-0 here. I think that's what everyone is expecting. We'll first have another all-in build, or is he going to try to play the late game here? That's what we're going to have to wait and see.
The game is about to start, guys. We're on Belcher Vestige, map number 2. It is First versus GuMiho at the GSL Code A, brought to you by Kallan Wolf.
All over the radio and back up in the raves again. We got the